Hi everyone, I came across an article with information from Reuters and Bloomberg with a list of different food items and products that we may see a shortage of coming up this fall. So it might be a good idea to have some of these items put away if you use them so that you have them when you need them. One of the items is chickpeas. So if you are a hummus lover like I am, it may be a good idea to store up some of the canned chickpeas if you like them for convenience. Or if you want a more frugal option, I also like to store the dried ones that you soak overnight and just cook the next day to make hummus. You can make hummus and soups and so on with other beans as well if you can't find chickpeas, but if you really like chickpeas, it might be a good idea to pick up a few cans or some dried ones now. Another product is wheat, and because of the conflict with Russia and Ukraine, a lot of the wheat availability has been reduced. So it's not only flour, but just think of all of the packaged foods that we use that contain wheat and things like pasta as well. So it may be a good idea if you eat wheat to put away a few extra bags of flour or buy some extra pasta and put that away in your pantry. So even if you don't consume wheat, the reduced availability of it puts pressure on the other grains like rice and oats and cornmeal. So it may be a good idea to just have some of that put away just to have insurance against higher prices and reduced availability. Sugar is something else we'll likely see less of and will be more expensive as well. And that's because Brazil, which is one of the major sugar producers, is diverting some of that resource to create ethanol. So it's putting some pressure on the supply. You will also see fewer avocados this fall on the shelves, and this is mainly due to some export restrictions with processing plants in Mexico. If you want to put away some avocados, you can freeze them, although the texture does change when you thaw them out. They're not quite as firm as when they're fresh, but one thing that does freeze really well is guacamole. So if you love guacamole, you can certainly make a batch of it and put portion sizes away in the freezer, and those thaw out nicely. Eggs and meat are also going to be in shorter supply this fall. So if you eat meat, it's good to put some away in the freezer or get some shelf-stable varieties in cans that you can just store in the pantry. You can also get canned goods that are rich in protein like chili and stews and store those as well. Eggs are a little harder to store, but you can freeze them for up to a year. And what I like to do is just take some and beat them in a bowl, and then you can put them in a freezer bag and store them away that way. And eggs like these can be used in all kinds of baked goods like cookies and muffins and cakes. You can use them for quiches, omelets, and pancakes. They're really great for baking. You can also buy powdered eggs, and although this is the best, longest lasting option, the price of them in the last couple of years has gone absolutely astronomical. So even though it's a good long-term storage solution to have powdered eggs, it may not be the most cost-effective. So freezing might be the best option for you. You would just have to weigh that out for yourself. Pet food is another item that's on the list, and this is due to supply chain shortages and labor shortages. So we've had a harder time with pet food, and I certainly know from personal experience that I've certainly seen less of it on the shelves, and the price of it is significantly higher. Almonds and other nuts are also going to be in shorter supply come this fall. And this is basically due to drought conditions in the southwestern United States. California produces a large percentage of North America's almonds, so if you eat nuts, it may be a good idea to get some, and you can store them in the freezer for a long time, or you can keep them in the fridge for well over a year. Also, according to Reuters, Hershey's has mentioned that they're going to be experiencing a chocolate shortage this fall. And this is due to not only a higher demand, but it's just difficult to get raw materials like edible oils and cocoa to make their products. So this means higher prices and less supply. October is Hershey's busiest time. Right around the time of Halloween is where demand is highest. So if you are a chocolate lover, now would be a good time to secure your Halloween and Christmas chocolate. Just make sure you check the expiry date and try to get stuff that doesn't expire until well into 2023, and you'll be on your way. It's important to note that these shortages are going to be spotty, so you may be able to find things in some stores and not in others. You may have to shop at a few different locations to get everything that you need. They may also be regional, as in some cities might have supplies one month and not the next, and vice versa. So it's just important to keep your eye out, and if you see something when it's available and you can afford to get it, stock it away in your pantry so that you have it when you need it. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hopefully you got something out of this list, and we'll see you next time.